Niklsun here, and welcome to Coming Soon Reviews. This is a show where every week I will be reviewing a wide release film and going over both the positives and the negatives, as well as my general impression of the film. So with that in mind, let's get into the review of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I have to start off with saying this film is breathtaking. It is mesmerizing. I was not prepared for how good this movie was going to be. I mean, and I'm not just talking about exciting or anything like that. This movie, from the very, very first shot, captivates you. You are completely inundated with these characters. You can't help but absorb them, especially the first 15 minutes of the film or so, where we don't even meet a human. It's all within the ape community, and it's all them just communicating with one another, seeing this civilization that they've built up. It's absolutely incredible, and not to mention the amazing motion capture performance. Like the special effects alone are enough to talk about in an entire review, because they are, I don't think we've ever seen special effects on this level before. They are incredible. The one thing to keep in mind, not one single person on set was wearing makeup outside of a few dots on their face. Every ape that you see in this movie, whether it be ape, gorilla, chimpanzee, orangutan, it doesn't matter. They are all completely CGI. And it's incredible how realistic they look. Like, they are photo realistic. And there are shots in this movie where there are over 100, if not a couple of thousand on screen, and they all look like they are real apes. It is ridiculous. But more importantly than that, there is not one single wasted character in this movie. Every single person is varied. They are different. They are layered. It's absolutely fascinating how well this movie controls everything. How each character has something to give back to the story. How interactions with Caesar, and seeing Caesar interact with both humans and apes, and seeing the level of trust that he's having to go through just himself with both the humans and the apes, and the fact that his second in command, Koba, keeps challenging him on that, and that the humans, it paints a really grayscale, is that it's not going to be one person's fault per se. Both sides are going to have people who are against unity, who are against peace, who feel that one side is better than the other. In this case, it's Koba, and there's also a human character who has a very similar viewpoint to that. But the way that it's handled is incredible. You're sitting there, and I was smiling through most of the movie. Not because it was entertaining. A lot of it is actually very dark. I was smiling because I was so enamored by the performances, by the fact that I could not believe I was being captivated by computer graphics. I did not think that we had reached that age yet where it could give this type of a performance, this level of emotion with, like, through CG. I mean, I'm not discounting at all the performances of each of the actors, especially Andy Serkis. I'm going to say this right now, and I tweeted this out last night. If Andy Serkis does not get an Oscar nomination for his role in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, the Academy system is broken, because this is one of the absolute best performances I have ever witnessed. The command that he has, like, when he's on screen, you feel it. You know he's a leader. Like, it's amazing how he's able to do that, just with subtle little facial expressions, and when he speaks, it's just powerful. Everything about this movie is almost, normally with a review I do a positive and a negative section. I could not find a negative with this film. There was only actually one minor little tiny thing, but it is a spoiler, so I will save it for the end of the review. But it is a nitpick at best. There is nothing wrong with this movie. It is borderline perfect. I mean, there was never a section of the film where I felt they needed to remove something. Some movies do have those areas where you're like, okay, yeah, we get it. Let's move on. Let's move on. The one criticism I actually would say, and this is not detrimental to their performances, but every time it focused on the human section, I wanted it to go back to the apes, and it had nothing to do with the performances of Jason Clarke or Kerry Russell or Gary Oldman or any of the humans. They were really, really good, like especially Gary Oldman's character. The trailers made him out to appear as though he's a cookie cutter villain, and he is not in the slightest. Everybody has their own motivations for what they do, and it is incredible. But every time the apes are on screen, you just want to see more of them. You want to see more of their interactions. Just their sign language between one another is just fascinating. The body language that they do. I could go on and on and on. I don't want to ruin it for a lot of people. So my general impression of the film is damn near perfect. This movie is unbelievable. If you do not have plans to go out and see it, change those plans and see it as soon as you can, because this movie is definitely worth being seen on the big screen. I have not, even this year, I haven't seen a movie as good as this. This is above Days of Future Past. This is above Captain America 2. This movie is damn near perfect. And I obviously I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. There's only one little minor nitpicky thing that I could find. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But outside of that, this movie is damn near perfect. 10 out of 10 for me by far. Okay, so that's my general review of the film. I'm going to get into a spoiler discussion now. Just minor spoilers, just a few here and there. So if you've already seen the film, I would just like to know how you felt about these sections as well. You can leave a comment in the comment section if you either agree or disagree, or whatever the case may be. I definitely want to know how you guys felt about this. But okay, so spoilers in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. So Koba is revealed throughout the film to be the only true villain. He sees Caesar's rule as being weak. He views him as not being the right leader for their group because he feels that he's always going to put humans ahead of apes in some capacity. And to a certain extent, he's not wrong, but he's wrong for the reasons that, or for the actions that he did take. Because he essentially started a coup, and he made it appear as though the humans shot Caesar and potentially killed him, although we find out later that he's not dead. But he sets up the humans to say that, listen, they're the ones who did it. And then he comes back and says, look, like, you know, Caesar's been shot. And then he planted the guy's hat and the gun there and really kind of started this revolution off. Oh, one other thing I wanted to mention as well is that the trailers have only shown about half the film, which I was really shocked about. I thought that the ending was going to be the big battle, and that was going to lead to the tower being completely destroyed, which was in the trailer. But no, the big battle is only about halfway through. But on top of just the character of Koba, the acting by Toby Kebbell was incredible. This was one of the only times, because watching Caesar, I haven't seen Andy Serkis in enough stuff live action to really be able to see him in the role. I saw Caesar. I did not see Andy Serkis. And that is definitely a positive to Andy Serkis' performance. That is not meant to take away anything from it, because it is groundbreaking. His role in this movie is breathtaking. It is amazing. But what Toby Kebbell was able to do, and you could see Toby Kebbell in the performance. You could see his eyes. You could see the way that he was, that he was saying things, the way that he was trying to describe what he was saying. You could tell that it was Toby Kebbell. And his role as Koba has given me a lot of hope for the Fantastic Four movie that's coming out next year, because he plays Doctor Doom. He plays the villain in that film. And seeing what he can do in this under all that CGI, I cannot wait to see what he does with Doctor Doom. And I hope that it's not a cookie-cutter, mustache-twirly villain that he plays in that. With Josh Trank at the helm, I don't think that's the case. But I'm going to get into the little tiny nitpick that I had about the film, and it was with Gary Oldman's character. And at the end, he blows himself up. And that to me, that section was really rushed, because I didn't get a sense that he wasn't willing to give anything else a chance. He thought that, okay, these apes have come back. He's not willing to listen to anybody else. The only thing he can think of to do is to destroy the tower and kill all the apes. And even when he blows it up, it doesn't destroy the tower. It rocks it and it knocks a whole bunch of stuff down, but the tower is still fully standing. But he just said, I'm saving the human race, and then blows himself up. That to me was just kind of out of left field. I didn't see that coming from his character, but more importantly, I didn't feel that it fit within his character. Even though, yes, he would have sacrificed his own life to save the rest of the humans, but to me, it didn't feel as though it was a natural progression of his character to automatically jump to that. That was my personal nitpick. If you feel any differently, please put a comment in the comment section. I would definitely like to hear other viewpoints on this. Well, this has been my review of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Again, if you have not seen this film, please go out and see it. It is unbelievable and groundbreaking, and it already, I think, we have a contender for Best Picture nomination for the Academy Awards. This movie is incredible. I know I keep saying that, but you need to go and see it. I'm definitely going to go see it, probably again this weekend. This movie is fantastic. Definitely go out and see it if you haven't. So again, this has been my review of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. You guys can find me on Twitter at Niklsun, Niklsun, for all of your updates on movie information. Also go ahead and click subscribe there in the bottom corner. You can get updates whenever we post a new video. You can also find us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/movienewswithniklsun, where you can start a discussion or post any comments or questions that you may have. And you can also find us on our website at movienewswithniklsun.ca. On there's a contact section in which you can put a question or a comment in the contact section, and will be answered on every Friday episode, along with all the user-submitted questions on the regular episode of Movie News with Niklsun, which will be online later today. So if you have any more questions or comments, please put them in the comment section below. If not, this has been Niklsun. You guys have been great, and you enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.